Hello, I'm Regina Sampson, the CFO for Baker School District. This is the 2024-25 budget input session. The survey will be available from November 4th through November 19th. Our agenda today is we'll review the purpose, process, and agreements for this process, and then we will also look at the vision, mission for the school district, the board goals, the 24-25 budget process. We will review some general fund aspects, which include average daily membership, curriculum, Baker charter schools, transfers. We will also look at information on Baker Technical Institute, Oregon International, the student investment account, bond project funding, and our economic outlook. To begin, the purpose, process, and agreements. The purpose is to facilitate some input for our 24-25 budget with our staff, students, family, and community. This is the survey after the video. Your role is to develop a basic understanding of the Baker School District budget, listening to the presentation, and giving your input on the survey. Baker School District will share this input with the board for deliberation on the 24-25 budget priorities. Our mission is each learner has a rewarding experience and receives what is needed to succeed and reach their highest potential. Our mission, using collaborative leadership, Baker School District enhances community vitality by providing cradle-to-career opportunities across broad, integrated learning platforms for rewarding educational experiences. The board goals are the bullets we would like for you to consider when completing the budget input survey. These can be found on our website under the board section. The 24-25 budget process begin in October with the adoption of our internal budget process calendar. This can also be found on our website under finance and budget. Then, of course, we're currently in the process of our planning of our budget input session, which will be available in November, as stated before, November 4th through the 19th. In December, we will accumulate all the information and present it to the board for them to deliberate in a work session on what those budget goals will be. In January, they will then adopt the budget goals and priorities. From January to April is when we do all of our internal work to develop the budget. So in April, we start the budget training with the budget committee and the board. Then in May, we will do our budget committee presentations of our 24-25 budget. All of these are open to the public. In June, once the budget committee has approved the budget, it will go to the board for a hearing as well as adoption of the budget. In July, after the budget has been adopted, then we file that with the county recorders. Our general fund, local sources include property taxes that make up 10% of our district budget. The state funds make up 68%, which is our state school funding. Of this, 50%, over 50% is passed through to our Baker School charter schools. In our expense section, instruction, which includes all expenses that go directly to the classroom to support instruction, make up 63% of our budget. 21% of our budget goes to support services, which includes building administrators, office staff and supplies, general district support, including transportation, maintenance, and grounds. As of June 26th of 2003, we projected a slight increase in our 22-23 ADMW. We are expecting the next report based on the October 23 numbers in November, which is how the state determines the state school fund dollars that are allocated to our district. ADM is the starting point in calculating the state school funding. 23-24, we lost 32 ADM. This was the graduation of more students than we had entering kindergarten, as well as we see a trend of a loss of students going from 10th to 11th grade. That loss averages at 4.4% over the last 3 years. And looking forward over the next 3 years, this loss, if maintained at that rate, would be 36 ADM at the high school level. This would be a total loss of about $680,000 in revenues. For curriculum, we implemented an early literacy program in 22-23 and expect to start seeing test results reflect this work in our 23-24 proficiency numbers. In addition, staff has put in a lot of planning, review, and testing of math curriculum for the 23-24 adoption. And we have begun similar work for next year's science adoption as well. In looking at some of the proficiency numbers, South Baker has shown an increase in proficiency in all areas: language, math, and science. Haynes has increased in language and math. Baker High School significantly increased in science. The asterisk numbers are due to the fact that it's a small population, and if listed, could be identifiable. So we did pull some additional information. Keating's internal reading data shows that 57% of students are at or above grade level, and 19% in math. Now, this is our Baker Charter School information. So this shows what the amount received by the school district in the state school funds minus the amount that is a direct pass-through based on their enrollment. And then we have additional contractual expenses for SPED-related costs. This leaves a remaining balance that then we use that to fund our capital projects, as well as a 3% remaining in the general fund to cover administrative costs. Our transfers that were in the budget for 23-24 are listed here. In addition, I wanted to point out that we did have Baker High School athletics with $686,000. We also had the arts program funded out of the general fund to the extent of $689,000 for the fiscal year 23-24. The bus and the debt transfers are one-time transfers, and we won't see those projected in future budgets because this was just a cleanup process. The food service transfer is a state required match, so we will continue to see that. BTI is Baker Technical Institute, is currently held in the enterprise fund. About 46% of their revenues are state and federal grants, which included the funds for the central building work. So we won't see that amount going forward. BTI continues to assess the needs of Baker and Eastern Oregon to ensure they are addressing the local needs before committing to other contracts. Oregon International is currently supported out of the high school and involves incoming and outgoing students to Baker School District. Their budget for 23-24, which included staffing, was just over $149,000. Our student investment account. Listed here are the allowable uses. And based on those allowable uses, we have transitioned this funding to support our students through the social work, guidance, and counseling functions. This is supported by 69% of the SIA budget. In addition, we have 16% going to TAG, resource room, and auxiliary programs, and 12% of the funding does go to our charter schools. The bond projects are moving along now that we have a general contractor in place. We are projecting bond funds to be fully expended by December of 2024. The economic outlook is cost pressures include cost of living increases that are currently outpacing the state school funding increases. In addition, we are still seeing cost pressures for supplies and services as availability continues to be issues that increases the prices of those services and supplies. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to this video, and your input on the survey would be greatly appreciated. Thank you.